Hey friends, Pastor Bill Walden here with Build Up the Church, January 24th, 2024. Some thoughts for you out of the Gospel of Matthew. In Matthew chapter 16, Jesus is increasingly revealing the fullness of his true identity and mission to the disciples. He asks them, "Who do people say that I am?" And there were various opinions, but Peter said, "You're the Messiah, you're the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus said, "Hey, Peter, flesh and blood didn't reveal this to you, but my Father who's in heaven." And so Peter had this incredible heavenly epiphany, this revelation from heaven about the true nature of Jesus, who he was. But Peter still had his own ideas about what Jesus should do. And it's an interesting contradiction that Jesus got it so right, Peter got it so right, that Jesus was the Messiah. But Peter got it so wrong about what Jesus should be doing as the Messiah. It says this in verse 22, Matthew 16:22. "From that time Jesus began to show his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem, suffer many things from the elders, chief priests, and the scribes, and be killed and raised the third day. And Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him, saying, 'Far be it from you, Lord, this shall not happen to you.' But Jesus turned to Peter and said, 'Get behind me, Satan. You're an offense to me.'" And here's the key statement. "For you are not mindful of the things of God, but the things of men." Peter, just a moment ago, you were mindful of the things of God. But now with your human emotion, with your intentions, Peter, your intentions are good. But you are mindful, you're thinking like a mere man. In fact, you're allowing the wicked one to influence your counsel to me. Jesus could have said, "Peter, I know you love me, but in some ways you love yourself more because you don't want to lose me. In some ways, Peter, you would rather keep me here for yourself rather than let me complete my mission as the suffering servant and as the sacrifice for the sins of the world." It's very interesting how, if you're a follower of Jesus, how we can have such great intentions for people. We feel like we're saving them. We feel like we're rescuing them. But we can be doing the exact wrong thing. It's interesting how we can be right about who Jesus is, but we can be wrong about what we think he should be doing. And so if you're a Christ follower, emotions can be amazingly wonderful. Emotions can be amazingly terrible. They can be so pure and propel us on towards self-sacrificial service to God and to people. And then they can be so apparently pure, but they turn out being selfish and self-serving and really missing the plans of God. And so what do we get out of this? Well, one of the takeaways I would say is this, that Jesus told Peter, well, he said something strong. He said, "Get behind me, Satan." Now, I don't think Peter was demon-possessed, but he was certainly influenced by the prince of this world, who would stop Jesus from completing his mission. Listen, if Jesus doesn't go to the cross, there's no salvation. If Jesus just stays in Israel and becomes king, then he drives out the Romans and Israel has another 50 or 60 years of peace, and then Jesus dies and then Rome takes over again. Short-term solution. Jesus came for the eternal solution. And Peter was just thinking like a man and listening to his emotions, and his emotions were influenced by what he thought was a higher calling, but in reality, it was a selfish calling, selfishly motivated. So I need to be careful. If you're a Christ follower, you need to be careful to not, as Jesus said, we want to be mindful of the things of God. We don't want to be mindful of the things of men. We want to have a higher level of thinking. We want to have the Spirit of God direct our thoughts, even when God's thoughts are bumping into our human emotions. We need to surrender to the leading of God. So hope you find this helpful. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.